don't let your fucking past spill into your present with somebody new and not give them a fair shot of what they deserve because of what somebody else fucked you over with. I think that's the dumbest. That's the dumbest thing to me is when girls are like, oh, like I just thought that you didn't want to hold my hand because my ex never liked to hold my hand. Do I look like your fucking ex? Manliest drink.
Yeah, I know. You just had to like maybe double sip right there. Not okay with that.
That's my fault.
Well, because I sipped and then you're like, oh, cheers. And I'm like,
well, we're not going to cheers. This is an all guys episode.
You know, I just thought we were all taking like a and begin because you were so nervous last week. So.
No, I said this was different. I like the cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
This is honestly really, really cool. Welcome again. Episode 2, Making Sense of Adulting. We are missing someone. Jenny, if you wanted like to tell the audience why we only hear
her hair's here. That's
voices.
Right. Breaking news. Courtney, maybe potentially not verified yet, might have COVID. So in her place this week, we decided to change it up, and we're gonna do kind of like a guys-based episode. So then that way the women out there can get a glimpse into our minds. And then we can vent and express ourselves without a lot of back talk about how we feel about
We're doing
things.
a Guy's Bible episode, and our producer, Mr. Anthony Swindle over there, who's also making us look gorgeous on camera, is going to fill in for QC Queen Court because she is sick.
Feel better, Courtney.
Rest in peace. But today... we slander women. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what we're
This is the official women's women hater club.
What we're gonna do is just like Junie said, give our insight on what we do that pisses girls off, what females do to piss us off, and just personal things that we just find issues with.
And maybe at the end we can find a way to kind of bridge the gap. You think I don't
know.
possible?
There's 3 guys here. I don't know if we're gonna be bridging a lot of things.
Bridge the gap in the comment section, okay? Let us know where we messed up.
Yeah. So let's think about it, man. So like, there's a lot of things we do to piss some girls off, right?
Yeah.
Is there one in particular that just stands out most to you?
That I do?
Let's give personal ones that we're known for, and then let's give ones that we think all guys are really, really known for.
Okay. I'm not like most guys.
A different fella.
Hey.
So I would say probably the number one thing that pisses my woman off is when I say we're gonna do something and then I end up switching the plans. She hates that.
When you switch the plans?
Yeah, when I switch plans, she's all about like if we make plans, them boys are set. But then on the flip side though, if it's her switching up the plans, then it's like I gotta go with it.
Do you call her out?
Huh?
You call her out?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that that's your personal one?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's
yeah.
one that you think all guys struggle with?
I think a lot of guys scheme on their women for real.
Oh.
Like I really do. I think a lot of guys like cheat and try and get away with it. I think.
Damn. Okay, is this like in the relationship or the dating?
Yes. Well, either or.
Oh.
I think, and this goes for women too. And we've talked about this because we looked at the percentages and stuff like that. And obviously, men is a little bit higher than women. But I think majority of guys, like if you told them man to man, like, hey bro, if like you could cheat, would you cheat if she didn't know? They'd say yeah.
Dang.
That's crazy.
What's your personal
You think that's crazy?
Well,
how many of your friends do you know that have cheated on their girls? A lot. Is it not? Because
I'm just thinking like high school, college, post college. I'm just going through. I don't know.
I'm just thinking and rounding up in my head, but I just know like my friends have cheated on their girls a lot.
Damn.
Yikes. I think
Not saying friend group. Not saying.
I was like, you need to reevaluate your friend group.
Not
what
saying.
the hell?
Not saying Rodney. Rodney. I've never seen Rodney cheat, but some of my other friends, whether it was in high school, whether it was in college, or whether it's been outside of college, have been like they're like down to cheat on their girl, and for me, I've said this multiple times that I will never cheat on a woman because I will never be in a relationship that I'll cheat on.
Yeah.
Like it's a waste of time. It's like if I'm gonna cheat on you, then why am I in a committed relationship with you? Yeah. You should put that out forward first and be like, yo, I don't see this as like a long-term thing. You know, if you want to, do this for fun, like we can do this for fun, but you need to be open with that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys are at the point where, if they can get away with it, they're going to try and get away with it. For me, like if I have the instinct to cheat, I'm probably going to break up with that person that I'm with.
Your beard is really long.
Yeah. And?
I don't know. I'm just looking at it now, and it's
mesmerizing.
It's the light.
It's mesmerizing.
It's really long.
You don't like it?
I just thought it's nice.
I think
you just look scarier.
I look scarier?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So what about you? What about your personal one? Like, what do
Me?
The girls that you've been with?
What's the question again?
Like their pet peeves of yours.
What is like your personal
mine?
thing that has pisses girls in your life off? And
Majority of the girls that
what is something that you see that guys do that fuck up just in general with women?
I'd say the number one thing would be what you said is just being spontaneous and switching up plans or maybe like not having plans and not being a planner. The number one thing that's always gotten me in my past is just being forgetful, whether it's like
I can
an
relate to that
anniversary
totally.
or like a special day.
Not anniversaries, boy. You gotta put that in your phone. You gotta put that in your phone.
I never got that system down. When I was dating younger, but yeah, just being forgetful. Just forgetting like things going on in their lives too. Like if they have something going on.
You guys are deep with yours.
Yeah. Nothing crazy big, but like if she says she's got a test, I'll forget to be like, hey, good luck on your test. Like stuff like that. I'm forgetful.
You gotta be, dude. You always. I think that's one thing that women really do appreciate.
Yeah.
Is like always being thoughtful.
I know.
Always being.
I've been reamed for this.
I mean, I don't know. For me, and this is, and I guess this is kind of like a solution for you. Yeah. Excuse yourself. Don't die. Don't die on the set.
Courtney over here.
But for me, and I struggle with that with previous relationships. Sure. I don't think I do that as much now, and it's because like I think when I'm out and about, and this is something you could think about too. But when you're out and about and you're away from your girl, whether you're at work or you're hanging out with your boys and stuff like that, you think about your girl, right?
Yeah.
Like you think about her and sometimes you miss her, stuff like that. When I think about my girl and I'm not with her, I text her and just tell her something. I'll be like, hey, I miss you. Or hey, like, I hope your day is going well, or just something like that, just to show her that I'm thinking about her.
Yes.
Because there's one thing to do it and know you're thinking about her. And when you're in an argument, she's like, you don't care about me. You don't care about what I got going on. But if you actually, when you do think about her, because you do, and you express that to her when you are doing it, that way you get it out of the way so that she knows some reassurance, then she has it. And I think that that's something that with my relationship now, I've done much better with.
I think reassurance comes with how much you're really into that person. If you're in the dating stage and like you're not really into that person, you don't really feel the need to do that, right? You're like,
of course,
you're like you really like her, right? So it's just like you're really thinking about her. And I think guys like will cheat themselves out their mental state of mind, but like they'll be dating or talking to a girl, but they're not really into her. So that's why the reassurance doesn't come into the play. It's because they're really not really into that person.
Well, then, but that's not necessarily what we're talking about here. Is because you.
No, I just like what you said. I like what you said about the reassurance thing.
Okay,
I was agreeing with you.
Yes. So I think we're all on the same page. You don't want to do those things with a girl that you're not going to date.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna put you.
Does that help with
in a
the
bunch of trouble.
forgetfulness thing? Is that why are you circling back?
No.
Like
I was more or less telling you what I do because I used to struggle with the exact same thing.
Okay.
And I'm telling you a solution to that is just like when you're thinking about your girl and she's not around.
Yeah.
Shoot her a text. Something simple. And for me too, another thing I like to do just to show her that like I care and that I'm appreciative is there's a Kroger right up the road from my house. Flowers are $10. Every single time that her flowers are dead, she gets new flowers.
Aww.
Isn't that that's the thing. That's the thing.
Cute.
That's the thing. It's the easiest thing in the world, though. It's the little things because, like, you can sit here and run through the motions of not doing stuff and not doing things for your woman, but yet your life is so much easier when you just take the time out of your day to do the small things. And all that is like what? 30 seconds to send a cute little text saying like, oh, I miss you, I'm thinking about you, I hope you're having a good day, or doing 10 minutes to run up to Kroger, check out with some flowers and walk out.
Now,
like those are
does
small parts
all
of your
those
days.
deeds outweigh forgetting a big time memory?
Yeah.
No.
So does that little text on the day that you forgot the anniversary outweigh? Is the better question.
Well, brother, you need to set a reminder on your phone. It's 2021.
So reminders. Phone reminders.
So then what's your guy one? The one that you think all guys have an issue with? You told us it's a personal one. So what's
all guys?
that like something that we all do that pisses girls off that is like kind of like a well-known one?
Do you have one in mind? Because I don't have one in mind. You sound like you have one in mind.
I don't know if I have a...
I got
you got
another one in
something.
mind.
Do I have a group one? I'm going to tell you my personal one that pisses girls off. So I think sometimes I joke too much. I think I've just started to learn this. 24 years later.
What, that women are sensitive?
That they're sensitive as fuck. And like when you have an understanding with your girl, sometimes, or like you may think that you have an understanding with them, right? And just because they brush things off, and to me it's just like, okay, they're cool with how we built our chemistry. But in the back of their head, it's really pissing them off.
That and like sometimes you could be joking on them.
Yeah.
And you would not completely mean anything that you say. Like you could say something, mean or, something that could be considered abrasive and offensive. And they don't say anything, but yet in the back of their mind is like, does he really think that?
Exactly.
Like that had to come from somewhere.
I think I've
That's a
struggled
good-
with that
you know
one a
what I mean?
lot.
Because I joke around a bunch. Like with the boys, it's easy.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't turn that switch to be a little bit soft-hearted on those things.
And see, I think adulting is what kind of helps you understand that. Like, like when you're coming out of high school, college, you don't think that you don't do a lot of things wrong. And that's kind of where my headset was. I was like, oh no, I'm just joking with you. Like, it's all jokes. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And then as you get older and older, you start to realize if every girl is starting to pick up on you joke too much, then that's when you need to like really dial back and think, okay, maybe I should chill the fuck out a little bit. And like, I think I've gotten better with apologizing for it. Like when we talk about it, but I still struggle to this day about understanding when I joke too much, because like sometimes I just catch a good chemistry with somebody and I think, oh, like we're good. And then I just disregard of how brutal it can actually be in the back of their head. So I think
When you say joke, are you like, is it playful, make fun of?
See, that's the thing. Like
if
if we're sitting there having a spat and I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up.
Oh.
And they're like, oh my God, you're an asshole. And I'm like, damn, I didn't really think that much of it, but I was just like joking with you, like, shut up, like be quiet.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you do that shit.
Or sometimes I repeat them. Like if I repeat you and they're like, oh my God, I want to go to the park. I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to the park.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, okay, that's fucked up. And I'm just like, fuck, I got to get better at this. So I think that's my personal one.
And I think that's kind of like, I think what sometimes that our significant others don't understand is that we only act that way and joke around like that because we're comfortable with them.
Super comfortable, yeah.
And we're like trying to build that joking relationship.
Yeah.
I am blessed because I'm in one of those to where my significant other jokes on me more than I joke on her. So
He's found a good one. He's found a good one.
She roasts me all the time. Like she puts me on,
love that.
and it makes me laugh. Like we laugh at each other all the time, and I think that that's a part of a good relationship. But I think what another part of this is the growth aspect of like growing to understand like who you are and how you connect with other people. And I think that, using previous relationships, like you said, how many girls does it take for them to say that I joke too much in order for me to realize it? Like, you start picking up on your flaws through bad and failed relationships. And even though maybe you weren't the catalyst in all of those relationships, maybe they did something worse to mess the relationship up. But either way, you still took part in that and you still had your flaws, whatever the percentage is. And I think that as you go through, whether it's high school, college, after college, getting into marriage, you start to find out like how you are in a relationship and you learn from your mistakes. And then that way you can grow in that sense. Does that make sense? Like every little relationship I've had, I picked up something different about myself.
Exactly.
That I've learned and grown
Even if
from.
it's not relationships, even talking to people, like you understand a lot of about yourself.
Yes.
Like they'll give you
And
little cheat codes.
Well, yeah, and they'll point it out to you too, and it's just like, hey, like I didn't really appreciate that you did this, and that I took it the wrong way, or it came off this way, and I felt like I got played or something like that. There's multiple different avenues about that, but you just got to learn, and it's all about finding that right person too. And I think not only is it you looking about the qualities that you have in yourself, but it's also looking at qualities in that other person when you're going to look for your next relationship of who you want to settle down with.
So I want to
100%.
touch on somewhere, the theme is guy code, right? I think from a secondary source, if I'm looking at my boys' relationship, I think another important thing of guy code is when the girl's comfortable with the friends.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Sheena does a perfect job at is like, have you met Sheena yet?
We ran into each other
Briefly met
once.
each other, right?
Yeah,
but
like,
say
briefly.
if you just like barely met her, she would talk shit about you. Like, and I think that's not even a bad thing. No, not like shit talk.
like
She would
personally.
joke with you,
Joking
and
around.
then
Absolutely.
I
She'll
feel
roast you.
Yeah, and I feel like as a friend, like if I just met her and then she like cracked a joke on me, I'd be like, yo, she's fucking dope. Like that just kind of like reels you in as far as the friendship. Like she's not shy. She's not being like, oh, I'm just a girlfriend. It's like, I'm the bro. Like you look fucking weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, welcome to the squad.
What's up?
Welcome to the team.
You
like,
want Drake?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let's go.
I think that is that's important as far as like guy code, girl code is impressing the friends. I think impressing the friends and the family comes before impressing the girl.
100%.
I said this the other day. I feel like me impressing your friends is gonna leave a bigger mark on you than me just like going out of my way for you, of course. But you get what I'm saying. Like impressing the friends and the family solidifies a longer lasting relationship than you just being it you and her. Right? Because if you have your friends and your family against you, it's gonna be a constant devil in your ear, kind of like telling you, like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do this. But when you have like your friends and your family egging it on, and you already like the person too, it's like, wow, that's three in one. Yeah. That's like that's a massive bundle.
So when you have friends that are giving you the cold shoulder when she's around, or kind of giving you red flags when she's around, is that something you notice? Have you noticed?
It's something that scares me. I won't say it dictates the relationship, but it does scare me because I feel like my friends and my family really have an impact on who I talk to. And that's just not everybody, not all friends, but like my close friends. Like you're going to be at my wedding. You're going to be in my life, like in my life for the rest of my life.
That's a good point.
So I feel like if you have a certain image on this person, it's going to make some type of impact on me mentally.
I think friends and family's opinion is something that I've kind of just now started to take into account. Part of my growing was actually learning to listen to my friends. And that's because a lot of my friends on the low would be like, yo, like, I don't really see this working out. Or, especially my sister has always been the indicator with girls. She hasn't liked a single one of my girlfriends until now.
There you go.
It's crazy because all along it's like my friends have, been there and try to give me the cold honest truth, and I'm like, no, you don't know the backstory, and I would make excuses for them, and little did I know it was just I wasn't seeing what they were seeing, and I think it's important when you spend time with especially like if your significant other is spending a lot of time with your friends and they have a good sample size of her, like, meeting them once or twice, they're hanging out a couple times is one thing, but when you're hanging out with them a constant amount of times and it's the same thing over and over again, it's like I was just kind of like blinded by what I thought it could be rather than what it was. And
that's a good one.
I think that's something I've kind of picked up on you, is because you value your friends and your family's opinion a lot, and I think that's kind of rubbed off on me, and I've started to notice that a bit more because of things that have gone on in my past with.
I just feel like
it's like
because like I think a lot of people like to think short term. Like when you're into somebody, you think, or you should think long term. I'm not saying everybody, but I feel like most people think short term, like, oh, this could be cool for the first 3 years, and they'll lie to themselves and they'll go after it and thinking that it could be something different. But if you think long term, your friends who are close to you are going to be there forever. Your family is going to be there forever. Yeah. So 10 years from now, when you're still hanging out with this same person, are they still going to like them? Are they still going to be the same person? Or were they putting on a front for the first couple meetings and then they started to fade off on you? And that's why I feel like your family's opinion and your friend's opinion is important. It's not everything. Some parents and some friends, like, I'm not gonna name names, but your girlfriend's Kay, right? They had a negative opinion about you, and without even like really understanding everything that you've done for them, and you went out of your way for her friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, this is probably like calling them out, but like you went out of your way for their friends, and I feel like that's an important act that you did, right? And that should have validated to them how special she was to you and how special she is to how special you are to her. You know what I'm saying? Like you did a good job at showing that, and they didn't see that, but I feel like they'll come around. I mean, like you heard the comments was like, "Oh, I didn't think you guys would last this long." Like, what type of friends do that to their friend when they see that their friend is happy? You know what I'm saying? And that kind of rubbed me off wrong because I've seen the way that you put her friends first, and that's why I was kind of like torn back by that statement. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like my Junie? Like fuck no. Like that man does what he does, and he caters to everyone but himself. And like you've always been like that. Like you put everyone else first. So like to hear that, I was just really, really confused and taken back by it. But again, it doesn't matter because she's happy. You're fucking happy. You guys are happy as fuck. You can have the world against you right now, and you still wouldn't give up on it.
And I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's more of remember I mentioned sample size, and I think it's just a lack of sample size, and I just think that if you're, I think it's good to have overprotective friends, and I think that's not something that I should really be worried about. It's one of those things that I should take it as a challenge to build on. It's like, well, obviously, like I have not done enough to prove myself, or I haven't come around enough, or I haven't, and we mentioned this last podcast, like haven't gone out enough, like, it's stepping into a new full-time job, like being tired all the time, like not wanting to get out there and go and do all the things and all that stuff. It's partially my fault.
Yeah.
And I think that like kind of taking that as a challenge and knowing that it's still like early in the process and that things will come around and just because people feel a certain type of way because of lack of time, I just think that is something that can easily be built on. So I think that's a little bit different. It's just, I think it's more of when you've been around them so much to where it's just a consistent like, are you serious? Like, are you really with them? And I think you can relate that to some of your friends too that you've seen when they've been in toxic relationships and you're constantly around them. You're constantly trying to give your friend's significant other a chance, and they just keep showing the same colors, and you're trying to force feed into their head.
Yeah,
I think that's a little bit of a different scenario.
Let's talk about when you do notice a friend that maybe isn't with the right person. What do you do? How do you keep supporting it? Do you try to give them like real advice? But
Anthony, there are two very good sides to this argument.
Yeah,
I promise you,
say.
because my uncle told me one thing, because something that I like to do is I'm one of those people that I'm going to shoot you straight. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm going to tell you either what you think you don't want to hear, but what you actually need to hear. That's the kind of friend I am, and I think that's why Rodney likes to come to me about certain things a lot, because I'm gonna tell him even if it's the last thing he wants to hear, and he knows I'm gonna shoot him that. But something that people have told me is that not everybody is as receptive to that message as certain people are. Like I know I can talk to Rodney like that, and my uncle brought up this great point
because of consistency. You've been consistently honest, and he trusts your opinion.
But at the same time, if you are going to be the one that's trying to interject and tell your friend something, and they don't figure it out for themselves, that could lead them to turn on you. And the expression I'm about to give is something that my uncle told me, because there was a certain situation about this, and he sat down and he goes, Junie, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. He's like, you can tell your friend that he's in a bad relationship and that it's bad for him, and you can see it clear as day. But until he figures it out for himself, he's not going to truly know. And so there's a balance with this. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have to understand that your friend is going to need to figure it out for himself, and sometimes you got to know that your friend needs to hear something. And I think it's up to you as a friend and knowing that person to be able to tell them.
I think it also, so like you said, it does have both sides to it, most definitely. But I also think it comes down to the depths of the relationship and how much they're willing to tell you. So if you're close friends and they're super, super honest with you about it, and you tell them exactly what you think is bothering you, I think, it's about how honest you are. I think it's really about how honest you are with that conversation. But you also have to understand that you don't know what all is in that conversation, right? It's like it's that person and that person, and you're just an outside looking in.
Right.
So I can't have too much an opinion and say, hey, like I saw him not hold the door open for you. He's a dick, right? But then in reality, he's going above and beyond behind the scenes when I didn't see him, you know? So I feel like you can't.
Maybe you're just seeing what
you're seeing what they want you to see, or just a selected piece of like their relationship, but you're not seeing all of it. So like you said, it's a 50-50. It's hard in that situation. But if as a girl, if they're coming to you as a guy best friend and they give you in detail, like he's telling me, shut the fuck up, grabbing me by my freaking arm, and it's like it's getting bad.
Yeah.
Like that's in detail, right? Or if it's just like he's not listening to me. Like it's just like, okay, so you know, cut him off. Fuck that. Cut him off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you need more detail, but you also need to understand the backstory on why they're going through the issues. Because if you think about if you were in that position, right? And everybody's like, oh, Shayna, you and Shayna are not going to work out, right? She makes you super, super happy. That's just outside looking in. Like they're just seeing like the shit that it maybe is going wrong, but they don't see the flowers. They don't see the little text messages. They don't see you guys having a good time. So they're never going to know. So I think it's a very weird balance, like you said.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, like, how much of these guy codes come into the mix as the long distance relationships? Like, does it make it difficult for like the harder things that bug girls to, you know, to fix for you, or is it?
Yeah. Well, we just started dating, and we don't fully get each other yet. You know, like we totally click. A lot of great things between us, but like I don't know, sometimes I'll say something that I'm being sarcastic and over text and she doesn't pick up on, or like she'll be sarcastic and I don't pick up on, you know, things like that. We haven't totally jived yet, which is fine. I think that comes with time. That comes with just understanding each other easily. Yeah, and just kind of getting each other's vibe and knowing when we're joking, which I'm joking all the time. So that's something I'm gonna have to work on. Is
text is hard. Everybody confuses text, no matter how. You could be a comedian, and somebody would still confuse text. Like 100%. it's a hard thing to even try to balance. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I try. We don't. We're good about it though. Like. Our communication, a lot of it has just been like calls, FaceTimes. Like we leave each other alone. Long distance is hard. I've done it a few times now. It's never easy, but we've found ways to, like tonight, we're going to make dinner together. We're going to FaceTime and like make dinner tonight together. So like just finding ways to spend quality time with each other, without actually being with each other. And technology's made it so awesome these days. You don't have to write letters anymore, you know?
Let me ask though. Guy code.
Maybe you should though.
I'm thinking about it.
The letters?
No, it just goes into the whole effort thing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what other guy's going to do that? You know, part of being in a relationship and being, I feel like a guy, is setting yourself apart from other guys.
From the exes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here's the deal is like, whether you're in a relationship or not, until you put a ring on that finger, it's competition, man. Yeah, guys are going to flirt with your girlfriend. You have to remind her every day that you're the best option and nobody is going to like love her and want to be with her more than you.
Facts.
You have to always remember that because there could be a day where you're slacking off and you're just like letting it be and be like, oh, I got this in the bag.
Somebody's always going to be in her phone.
And then
There's always guys in the phone.
Somebody else is going to show her that attention. And guess what? She's going to start doubting on whether or not you're going to be that guy for her for the long run. Yeah. You have to keep it up. You have to keep going. You
become the conversation at brunch. A couple mimosas and she's going to go talk to David. No, but back to my question. So does long distance have an expiration date?
Preferably, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just circumstance right now.
The plan is always, so if you last that long, the plan is always to figure out how to get to the same location.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We're talking about it, but it takes time. I mean, she's still studying.
Yeah. Also, you got time.
So, and I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm doing me.
You're making the fucking magic happen. That's what you're doing. All right, let's go to the list of things now from the wiggity web on stuff that guys piss girls off with and stuff that girls piss guys off with.
Let's hear it.
We'll start with the guys. All right. Failure to make eye contact. I'm just going to skim through the list.
Yep.
Have you noticed that? Do you notice that? Failure to make eye contact?
That we do?
Yeah.
I know when she's mad at me, I don't like to look at her.
Yeah, I don't think I look either. I'm always like looking this way. I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah,
Little
you don't want to
glimpses.
look at him.
I don't look at him.
And you want to know? You want to know the number one reason why? Is because she remembers everything, and then when you're trying to think back to it, you're like,
dude.
"What did I say?
That's
like,
it,
like
dude.
what? Like, what did you say? I know
That's
you
it.
said something, but I can't think about
That's
it. I can't
totally
remember.
true.
So I'm like, what did you? She's over here ripping, and you're like, what did that? woman
Girls
do?
have this bank of ultimate memory of everything you've ever said, done, and you, when you're on the spot, there's nothing you could say to get yourself out of it. It's crazy.
What about leaving the toilet seat up?
Me all the time.
Yeah, that's me too.
That's when you're living.
You want to know why?
together,
You want to know
super
why?
guilty.
I mean, my mom and sister say it now, but when I was growing up, they didn't care. They didn't.
Really?
They never said anything
mom-
about it.
my
Dude,
mom
my
was
mom,
trained.
I was trained.
my
It's
mom and
automatic.
sister never said a word about it. Now they would be mad if you left a little sprinkle on the seat. They'd say something about that. But like if it was just like putting the toilet seat down, they didn't care. So I was raised to not care.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll even do it in like when I go visit my buddies.
You put it down?
All guys' house. I'll put it down.
Oh no,
leave it-
I've
I
started.
leave that thing
I've
up.
started to do it now. I've genuinely like even at work.
Yeah,
it's like
there
we're
you
sitting.
go.
We're sitting.
I
in
didn't
a-
realize how upset they really get.
We're
No,
seeing
leaving that
that.
thing up. They get upset. I'm like, oh shit.
Like I'm in like an office area, 4 dudes majority of the time. There's one girl that comes in there every Tuesday and Thursday, but everything other than that, it's all guys.
Yeah.
and still just
All right.
putting it down.
What about initiates a conversation and then drifts off? Like you start a conversation and like you start to drift
I wouldn't
off.
say that.
Yeah, I don't really like that
Say
one.
That's not a big one.
Comment on her physical appearance.
It pisses her off
lack
or
of?
lack of.
Oh, comment on another girl's physical appearance when she's standing right there.
well, that's
What do you mean by
stupid.
that?
I think that comes down to chemistry, right? I think it comes down to chemistry. If I'm like, damn, her outfit's nice. Is that really like I'm after her? Like,
But you said physical appearance, right? Physical is like her body or like her features or.
It could be wardrobe.
Really?
Yeah.
when in reality
What
do
other
guys
things
sit
would
there
you
and
say?
say, "Oh my God, babe, she's got a fat ass"? Unless they've been dating for like years, then like maybe, but like nobody off the jump is gonna be like, "Damn, baby," like, ooh.
Yeah, maybe not in the dating. Maybe when you're
saucy.
like 30, 40, you've been married for 10 years.
When it's comfortable.
You'd be surprised.
Be like, hey.
Not
look.
me, not me, but you'd be surprised.
Neglect to celebrate milestones.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Let's
No,
see.
I wouldn't say we never celebrated them, but I'd forget them like the day before and I'd have to be reminded. Come on, don't put me on that.
This one I'm passionate about.
Okay. Oh.
When he owns and guards the ox with his life.
What?
When have you ever let a girl ox in the car? Ask yourself that.
I've done it a lot.
You let your
Yeah.
girl ox the car?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Absolutely.
When you're driving
not.
on a long road trip, you don't want to be flipping through songs.
dude.
Oh,
You give it to
negative.
her, passenger seat.
Listen, man.
Negative.
I guess I just don't like confrontation. You know what I mean? I'm not a big.
Agreed.
I hate fighting. I really do. Like I can't stand it
She's not getting the cord.
Really?
She's not getting the cord.
ever.
Never.
Not even once.
I'm sorry. I will take requests. You can call in.
You're telling
Yikes.
me. You're telling me you can't bump a little like Katy Perry or like
Yeah, by request.
Ariana Grande
By
or something.
request.
Like, let's get okay, girl. I can
Let's
sing along a
see.
little bit.
When he automatically assumes I'm upset off my period, but not that he messed up. Have you ever asked your girl, like, damn, are you on your period?
No, but I've always been like, no,
I know.
no. No.
I'm kidding.
I'd definitely be like, damn, girl, you on your period?
I'm kidding. I never assume she is.
But you have had that. You've had said like, "Why are you upset?" And then she'd be like, "I'm not upset." And then it
Yes.
goes down this rabbit hole.
Yes.
Of like, now she's mad that you even asked that you were upset.
So it's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when you argue with girls, you got to figure out, do you really want to prove her wrong? Or
True.
do you want to just cave in and just let it go?
That reminds me of the
There's-
TikToks I've been watching lately. It's a guy, it'll be a guy like walking through a room, and he'd be like, "I just won my first argument," and then he lays down in the garage and goes to sleep. It's just like, you never win. You can't win. What are you gonna do?
Sometimes you just got to, and that's the girl code. You got to let them win. Sometimes.
There
As
it
an
is.
argumentative person,
Sometimes.
as an argumentative person, when you know they're in the wrong,
I just think I think there's an area.
Is
man.
it let
It's
him
like,
win or is it compromise?
No, well,
Let him win.
Well, one, it is compromise, but
Both.
it's like, would you rather keep arguing or would you rather there be peace?
Always
and
peace.
I think
But if there's
Always
something to
aim
be
for
talked
peace.
about, if there's
Always
something
aim
to be
for
talked
peace.
about, let's say there's a
you're saying that because you can't admit when you're wrong. That's your flaw.
I like to see both sides. I want to see both sides, but I want to
course
see
you
with
do.
validity. I want to see facts.
Absolutely.
Right? That's all the thing.
That's why you're
if
arguing
you're
in the
gonna
first
argue with
place.
me, right, and if you want me to say that I'm wrong, I want you to really be right about what I did. Right? That's like saying if a girl assumes that you're out, if you go out,
Okay.
right, you're with the boys, and a girl takes a selfie with you, right, and the girl posts it, and then you share it.
Doesn't happen a lot,
But if you share it, right, and you get home, there's an argument. You didn't do anything wrong. She's arguing that it looks sketchy. You're just gonna let her win, or are you gonna prove your point? Or are you gonna say that maybe she's just a friend that maybe was in town from college and we took a picture and she shared it? You gonna argue that and defend yourself, or are you just gonna be like, look, I'm sorry I took the picture with my friend who came down from college. What are you doing?
This is relatable.
I think this is a good one, but I just think there's a way to talk about it.
You didn't answer the question.
What are you doing, Junie?
Answer the question. Don't try to fucking smooth your way.
I'm
Don't try to voice a reason
I'm
your
not,
way around
I'm
this
not
one.
saying I'm not saying I'm sorry.
So
I'm
you're
not
gonna
saying-
defend yourself.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna
That's my
defend
point.
myself because I don't want to be accused of something I didn't
That's
do.
my
There you
point.
go.
So when
but
I argue, it's not because I want to be right. It's because I want you to come with facts, make sure the facts are accurate,
Okay.
and then presume your case.
But here's my point about this: is like one of the more further extreme situations. I'm talking like things like this in a relationship. And Anthony, I don't know if you've gotten to this point yet, but most of the time it's like much smaller things than that, like much littler, like things, little accusations, like you didn't do this or you didn't do that.
I don't know. A lot of girls like to blame you based off of their past. So like they'll be like, I thought or I assume because that's what they were treated like in the past, right? So if I've never felt the need to go through your phone, but because my ex did this, this, and that, this is why I did this.
No, that's never an excuse. It's never an excuse to bring up
Those are the
previous
times. Those are the
relationships.
main times that I argue my case. Is what I'm saying. When I get false accused.
But honestly, I've been guilty of that. I mean, if I'm being real, I have done that. Like I think that can go both
Done
ways.
what?
I've falsely accused.
Okay.
So
Because of your past?
because of my past, yeah. Like I've had.
See,
Well, that's
I
not
just think you
anything
gotta
to be
come with the facts. That's for both sides. If
I
you're
get
not coming
that.
with facts, you cannot accuse somebody of some bullshit. That's not fair to them. And you can't
It's
blame
not.
your
No, you're
past.
right. You're right. It's
but you
not.
cannot blame your past for your present of who you're pursuing, right? You can let your past affect you mentally. Cool, right? In the back of your head, you can assume something, but don't let your fucking past spill into your present with somebody new and not give them a fair shot of what they deserve because of what somebody else fucked you over with. I think that's the dumbest. That's the dumbest thing to me is when girls are like, oh, like I just thought that you didn't want to hold my hand because my ex never liked to hold my hand. Do I look like your fucking ex? No. Woo! Shit.
But there is something to be said about past experiences affecting your current actions. You do things today because of the things you learned in the past. And
Right.
if you
the things
lose
that you
trust,
learn.
if you lose trust in people, then it might take some time for them to trust you.
Yeah.
So you need to build that trust by maybe being more open on some of those things. Like, yeah, maybe I'll hold your hand in public. If you really want me to, I'll do it.
I agree.
Go and look at my phone.
I
Take
agree.
it. Do whatever you want.
I
Like, I'm
agree.
not doing anything sketchy. I'm not doing anything wrong. So maybe overextending to build up that trust.
When you're showing that,
That's
though.
not a bad. That's not a bad
Yes.
idea either.
When you're showing that though, right? And
Yeah.
and it still is
No,
like,
I hear you.
You know, like if it's like you went all the way out to show your girl that your girl was your main focus, right? And say like 8 weeks in, she's still like, I feel like you're still iffy with me, but you know you've been putting in all your effort. How does that make you feel? Right? That just makes you feel like something's wrong here. Something. There's a A to Z, and you're not telling me the in between on what's affecting us, right? You put your effort in, that's A. Z is she's telling you that it's not enough. That in between is there's something else that's making it seem like you're not putting in enough effort, but it's not you. But they don't want to tell you that. They just want to automatically go to my past did this. This is why I felt that.
it sounds like you're talking about a toxic girl.
No. That's not toxic. Because even girls who have been through one relationship in all their lives and they just can't get it right, that doesn't mean they're toxic. It's just because they're super super damaged.
And I get that, but and again, maybe this.
We can't speak for the girl mindset. That's my thing.
And that's fine, but I guess I see it in a different light because I would say my girlfriend right now has had things like that happen in her past, but she has never brought that on me.
Yeah.
And we've only had one instance with it, and it was me. It was me that did that. Like, I pulled that card, and I was wrong. And I admitted that I was wrong because, self-evaluating and looking, if the roles were reversed, I'd feel the same way too.
So maybe, point taken, what you just said was knowing when to admit you're wrong. That's something men are not good at.
That's true.
So
that's very, very true.
And and oftentimes men are the more powerful, the bigger, the stronger, the more confident individual in a relationship.
Yeah.
So not being able to admit your mistakes can be an issue for girls, and maybe admitting your mistakes is I don't know, it would really help out a relationship. And I think that's something I totally learned in my past, was just admitting when you're wrong. And I don't know, it's tough to have someone else admit when they're wrong, because then you got to argue with them. But opening that up from the beginning, like, hey, like being able to say sorry and apologize, and that's a good point. I think you make a good point there too.
And how many times do we mess up and not realize that we've messed up in the moment? And it's one of those that says, hey, I really want you to understand that I didn't mean to make you feel that way.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a long way. If she understands, like, I genuinely want you to know that my intentions were not to make you feel that way, or to do that, or to like to make things appear that way. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way, because that was not my intention.
Because the conversation off the jump when girls accuse you, I think is what pisses guys off the most. Is because it's like in the back of your head you're doing what you got to do, and they still feel this way, and it's like it's a switch that just automatically makes you want to just what the fuck and get super defensive, and then you realize after a while it's like maybe I could have handled it differently, and that's when that's the strongest about a conversation is the afterwards, after you initiated off the jump and went all in, but like how are you going to recover from that is the most important of that conversation, that apology and how you go about that. But we got 5 minutes, so I want to touch on some of the girls' stuff that pissed off the guys.
All right, let's hear it.
So purposely trying to make them jealous. Have you ever had a girl? Talk to me.
Julie got a story. Julie got a story.
No, it's a real short story, because you want to know what I say?
Yeah.
Bye.
That was like my motto for the longest time. Like, if he can get you, he can have you. Simple as that.
I agree.
That's the motto. If he can get you,
if it's coming to mind games like that, and you can't be an adult with me,
see ya.
Facts.
100%.
I want to touch on this one. This was number 3. Talking during sex. Have you been a fan of talking during sex?
Like, what do you mean?
Oh shit. As like girls like to talk during sex. As a guy, do you enjoy that?
Like conversate or like say things?
I guess talking during sex. I
don't.
Like talking about your day?
Like,
hey,
no.
how was breakfast this morning?
How was your day? Good?
I guess like the talking.
Who does that?
I guess like the talking in your ear.
If you
like,
do that, quit.
Stop that.
I guess like I guess sexual talk. Like sexual talk during sex. Are you a fan?
Yeah.
Really? What about you?
Yes.
I do not like talking.
What do you want to be quiet?
Hell yes.
What?
I usually play music. Like I'm the type of person that wants the music to talk to me.
He likes the vibe.
I like the vibes of it.
Right.
Like I don't really like the talking aspect.
Depends.
She's like, oh my god, daddy already. And I'm like, all right, nigga, on my ears. Not knowing where they want to eat.
Oh my god!
I think this is a big one.
Shut up,
Like
bro.
if it's like, where do you want to go eat, man?
Bro.
Where do you want to go do? I don't care. You pick.
Dude, no, the worst. The worst is when you like, what do you want to do? And they're like, I don't know. And then I'm like, oh, let's go get some chicken. And she's like, I don't want chicken.
No.
This is me.
No,
Oh.
I'll take it a step further. I'll take it a step further. I'll be like, where do you want to go eat? And she'll be like, I don't know, and I'll choose, and we'll go. We'll go, and then I got to hear about how she didn't want to go there after.
Oh, that's bad.
That is the worst, my friend. And I'm like,
Dude.
well, then speak up,
Dude, something that I never noticed until after I became an adult is things. A girl that doesn't like have a wide appetite turns me off. Like if she's so picky
shit.
about her food,
we could never date
it
Anthony.
turns me off.
That is selective.
Because I like my cheeseburgers plain, but
Yeah, but like you won't go
He's
get
gross.
like some salmon or some sushi or like you won't explore your appetite.
oh, I mean, I get salmon and
I'm
sushi
just saying,
are
like,
some of my favorites.
How often do you say no to a meal put in front of you? Even if what if it's a little exotic?
I mean,
like
listen,
calamari. Like how often are you saying no?
Here. Okay. This doesn't have to get about me. I don't like side things. I don't like pickles, onions, ketchup. Like I don't like all the extra stuff. If you give me a
Fair.
burger or different types of stuff, I like it. But I just like it plainly dressed. I don't want all this extravagant stuff in it.
I hear you.
Or lettuce and if I'm not eating a salad, I don't want lettuce on my burger.
All right. But it tastes good. It adds a little crunch to
soggy
it.
ass lettuce. No, that's not me.
You're right.
Let's do one more because we're really crunching down on time.
That's fine.
I don't even take a look at the list and give me one that you would want to. There's so many good ones, and we're really pushing time.
Are we?
Yeah, but there's some really, really good ones in there. We could have talked about this all night long. Cause
Okay.
keep it
I'm gonna preface this one because
All right, you pick, and then you pick one.
because Shayna's not like this, but I gotta read this long.
Damn, son.
Doing the bare minimum, but expecting a guy to go
talk about that one too.
to go up and beyond.
Wait, read that
so
for
much
you.
goddamn
Read that
evidence.
Doing the bare minimum, but expecting the guy to go up and beyond because I had
Wow.
this in my past.
I think a lot of girls. That's happened to a lot of people. This happens so often, and it's just like you have to build the bridge with mud and your hands, and then they expect to be able to walk on it with 6-inch heels perfectly across to this fucking amazing island, and that's what they expect you to do. But then if you ask any goddamn thing from their ass, they're gonna give you McDonald's. The bare fucking minimum.
I haven't had this experience.
Oh, you are. How not?
What?
No.
So you've never busted your ass for a girl only to get something like
It's always
20%?
oftentimes it comes back and it comes back.
Really?
No,
Show me
not
where
for
you
me.
were finding your
Not
girl.
for me because my girlfriend now is not like that. She she'll come home and make dinner. Sometimes
So
sometimes she does my laundry without me
doesn't
asking.
do the bare minimum.
No, she
She's the
does.
opposite.
No, I think she does
Above
more than
and
me.
beyond. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try. Like
That's
I put
what I'm
out a good
saying.
effort. I really do. But sometimes I just cannot match this girl's effort. She's a hustler. Hustler.
That's facts.
You got a story on that?
No. We're pushing time. Just give me another.
All right.
This is the last one. Wrap us up.
Maybe the validation, constantly seeking validation. Have you had that problem?
I think
There's a
not
balance.
validation, but reassurance.
Reassurance.
I think giving reassurance and letting them know that they're
But how much is
yours
too
and-
much?
What do you
Is
mean?
there ever too much reassurance?
I don't think so.
No.
It could be because if you keep saying it, they'll be like, okay, now you're just saying it.
Yeah. I've had especially for the girls that know they look good, and then you tell them over and 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 over, and they're like, they don't really value the compliments anymore because they get it so often that they want to hear about the secondary stuff that not a lot of people else talk about.
Like, hey, you're not only are you pretty, but like you're smart, or like
or
you
like
did this. I don't know.
when you talk about maybe their hobby, I like that, you're really good at
yeah.
you're really understanding about our hobbies. I know you don't like to dance, but I love that you will listen to country music.
That's a good
You know what I'm
point.
saying? So
Yeah.
then when you hear compliments
Less
like that,
surface level stuff.
it means more to them than just saying, "Baby, you look so good." It's just
Sure.
I get it, baby. What
Yeah,
else?
no. Now that is one thing, but yeah, no, I think definitely complimenting them on their accomplishments, the things they do when they work hard. I compliment my girlfriend on how hard she works at work all the time because she's constantly busting her ass and grinding. So I just think there's multiple different avenues that you can do, or just thinking about you, like when she makes food or does my laundry or just something out of love. Like I always make sure that she knows that I appreciate her and the things that she does, because I don't want her to do anything or go out of her way and not know that I value what she does.
Facts. And on that note, we'll end it with more love. Thank you. Episode 2 of Making Sense of Adulting Season 3 podcast. Anthony Swindle, thank you so much for stepping in for Courtney.
We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
While Courtney is recovering. She should be back next week, guys. So
Feel better, girl.
Courtney, we love you. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Making Sense of Adulting. It is your boy Radio Rodney Smith signing out.
See ya later.